Hello, this is Ryan with Pro Trailblazer, and in this quick tip tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Cursor to speed up the things that you already know how to do. So here we are. I've got a Sanity studio open. Basically, it's a build your own content studio so that you can structure content to work with any front end. So this is very basic right now because it is populating a starter. So this is what it looks like right when you plug it in and start working with Astro. I put together a really simple call to action right here that stems from a UI element that I found online. Put this together and it created this, this component to show this basic text. And what we want to do now is we want to make it dynamic so that editors and people can use it in the future. So we're going to get all this stuff actually in play. So we'll get that all hooked up in a second here. Okay, so first of all, what do? We go to the studio and we want someone to be able to click down here and add the call to action. So we need to add that as quickly as possible. And we do that in the schema by creating a new file called cta.ts. There we go. And then we want it to be here. And we're going to tell I'm going to hit Command K. And I am going to say, make a CTA schema that is an object and make sure it uses the following properties. Then I'm going to say add file, and I'm going to go down to the component where it shows the props. So we've got that going for us already. That was already generated based on the end result that we were looking to populate. So that's pretty quick to have that taken care of and right. And then we're going to say, we're going to add the docs for Sanity so it knows how to get it right. And then also we're going to use another component that's been made, post.cs reference. There we go. And we're going to click generate. Now we're going to want to make sure to read everything. It makes mistakes. I mean, the thought that this does everything for us perfectly, that's not something to get too used to. You really should read over it like it's a junior developer or someone that you're training in. And as you use it more and more, it'll get more and more correct in terms of what it's doing for you. I'm already seeing that personally. So it made it an object instead of a document. And it did that because I knew to ask it, because that's one of the corrections I have to make all the time. And now I don't because I tell it to do so. And we've got that good to go. So we've got that schema here. We need to add it into the index so that Sanity knows it even exists. So we're going to do that there. And a cool thing about Cursor is if I press tab again, it's going to add it up where it should be up here. So now we've got it added to the index, and now it looks at it as an object that can be used somewhere, but I still need to put it into the block content. So this block content is this area where people type, and I want it to be in here. So I'm going to select all. Okay, I'm going to select all, and I'm going to hit Command K, and I'm going to say add the CTA object. I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm not going to get too complicated with it. Let's see if it messes up. And then I'm going to reference the file right there. And let's see how it does. So right now it's looking through the code, trying to figure out where to do it. I usually just highlight this area down here, but it says define array member CTA. And that's exactly what we wanted it to do. That's something that you could have typed. I mean, you don't really have to like use this for that, but it knew what to do, and that's super cool. So here we are. We've got the call to action loaded up, and now we can add it to the content. So here we are, and I'm just going to say test title. And then I'm going to say description, and then button 1. We're just going to put a hash here. Button 2. And then we're just going to put a hash here too. Okay, so there we go. So we've got our description, we've got our test title, we've got our call to action where we want it to be. I'm going to put it up above the ellipsum and we're going to publish it. It's in the first post. Let's go to the first post and see if it's there. It's not. And it's not because we haven't queried it yet. Now, this is the part where people get kind of confused with Sanity because you actually have to create the connectivity between the studio and the front end. And this is so much easier leaning on Cursor to do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the area where this happens. And in this particular project, it's in a file called sanity.ts. And we are going to add this to the body for the post. So in here, we can see that it gets a post and there is the body content. And we know we need it right here, right? So I'm just going to hit return. I'm going to wait for a second. It notices that it's already there. And then I'm going to hit tab again. And now it's getting the data. Now in this case, it's getting everything, which is fine. When you're finalizing it, it's like specifying the exact properties is what you would want to do. And you can do that by just saying file, CTA, use these fields instead of and then accept. So as you can see now, it's just getting those, and if we want, we can like add an ID, and then it'll know like, oh, you want type 2. So there we are. Oh, so now we've got what we need to put it there. So if I were to go to the portable text, let's see, and then we're going to say types CTA. There we go. Now, I've used Sanity enough to see an error. Types is incorrect. It's actually type, and that would have messed everything up, and it's not even showing an error right now. But that is one example of Cursor not doing it exactly right. That's something that you could actually put in the rules, in the cursor.rules, and it would like stick moving forward. But I just made the quick correction. Once again, it's important to work with like the last percentage that it didn't do. You really need to like pick those out, so you can't just lean on it entirely. Now when I look down, here we are. We've got the test title, description, button 1 and button 2. If I go to the project and I click on this and I add description and I update it, and we take a look here, the CTA has updated. So what we did right there in less than 10 minutes is we created a call to action schema that creates dynamic text in the component that we found in a front-end library, and we hooked it up so that people can use it wherever they want on a website in modular text format. So that's what I've been using Cursor for lately, is taking these tasks that I do all day and automating it by using what I've already done and what I know needs to happen, and then catching the little quirks that come up because it's still learning how to get it just right. So if you like all these little shortcuts, all these different ways to design and develop all things generalist creative, make sure to like and subscribe to Pro Trailblazer. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel.